really curious. I like this Eve Uni team a lot. I really do. But the Castabouts actually do have a chance to win this actually.
Castabouts, I've always been a bit of a fan of Castabouts in the AT. They get an exception to the rules, don't they? So they can join to their NPC corps. But now I think they've made their own alliance specifically for moving their characters into for tournaments, I believe.
Yeah, with the advent of skill injectors, I believe that's what they did this year.
Yeah.
Previously, they weren't able to compete because I don't think they were even allowed. I'm not sure they did make an exception. I think after skill injectors, it was the first time they were allowed to actually compete. Or maybe they made alts before. I'm not really 100% sure.
All right, and here we go to the arena with 20 seconds remaining.
I'll go through the Ivy League team then. So on the Ivy League's team, Eve Uni's team, we've got a Keres, a Gila, a Caracal, a Bifrost rather, and another Caracal. I've made the wrong guy. It blew on my overview. So they've got a pretty.
Sorry.
I think Gila's an interesting pick in this.
It looks like we're underway with 2 Brutixes versus the Caracal Moa. Or Caracal Gila, sorry.
Castabouts Brutix immediately turning and burning away and getting chased down by the entire team.
This Curious, he looks to be burning the opposite direction, so he's damping, but he's also trying to just distract the drones, damage drones coming out on him, pulling those away from the rest of his team, taking a little bit of damage, but so is that Korax. Looks to be taking some. Oh, Korax and Tristan both getting ready to go down for CAS.
Oh yeah. And what's the arena range? 100 kilometers, right?
And yeah, that Curious goes
so this
straight
Curious
out.
Is
long gone. He's turning around now and he is coming back in.
So he has about 20 seconds left to get back in, or he is out.
And he's back in the arena.
So the only way we have to warn them is a slew of E-War. So when they get 6 E-War jams, either jams, target painting, disruption at once, that is their notification, since chat is not exactly the first thing to come to mind.
Yeah, that E-Uni carries going down now.
Carries going down, but this Brutix taking some pretty heavy damage, and the Flycatcher immediately just disappearing. So the question is, will this Brutix be able to hold, and will it even be able to catch this Gila and Caracal?
Well, he does have that second Brutix there to give him a hand.
Guess we'll find out in a moment.
But
the
speed, we're looking at even if you're hull tanked, I'm not sure if overheating, you can overheat long enough to catch these, because the Bifrost is still giving skirmish links as well. So we might just see an outspeeding of the remaining CAS team, and if this Brutix goes down, I think I'm calling the match for Eve Uni on this one. It's a really good play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect to see them pull it back, but this is definitely a hull tank.
You say that, but I see here David Thurman. He's kind of like creeping up to the right of the EVN team, and he's going to go straight into the face of Biwa in the Caracal. So if he gets lucky here and he catches that Caracal, that's certainly going to put them ahead. The Gila as well now coming in from behind. He could do a 180 here and possibly catch the Gila if the Gila gets too close.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting. We were talking about links earlier. He boosted and left the Caracal just outside of the range of his boost. So one of those Caracals hasn't actually got speed. He's gone back to Meldine now in the Caracal to actually get close to it so that he makes sure he gets applies those skirmish links for the second boost. David getting quite close to the Caracals now with his bricks.
He's turning away though. He is turning around. David, I'm not sure why he's decided to back away. Perhaps he's trying to force them to come in towards him again and really bring the damage down on top of him. Well, they're just going to try and...
They need to coordinate of who they're... Because there's a group of the Eve Uni team. And if you look at the way the Brutixes are in reference to that little small group, they could come from the left and right side. And one of those Brooks might be able to catch one of those ships if they coordinated properly on how they're going to attack this little 3-man group out there. But it looks like they're kind of splitting their attention of who they're going for. They could essentially corner the Eve Uni team with
If
their
I
two
was
Right.
them, I would
ships.
definitely go for the Gila, because if they get the Gila off the field, I think that puts them ahead on points. So yeah, like you said, if they could like kind of manage to split up and corner this Gila possibly,
Well,
Or even the
saying that,
Bifrost, anything. Well, one single ship goes down and they have Eve Uni on points, but at the same time, this is where the boundary rule. They could flirt
James
with that
approaching
boundary.
the boundary. He's just sliding over the boundary. James
He
is
is
sliding
crevice
over.
in the Gila, and he's making no indication that he wants to turn around yet. He's going to have to turn here, and that puts him pretty close to Kirachi, and the Brudix could possibly get on top of him, but Kirachi's like in like 20% hull. So
if you watch what the British are doing, the two British are essentially between the rest of the Ivy League fleet and that last one remaining Gila, which is off by itself. And the second British has just been kind of shepherding around, keeping the other Gila, the Caracal,
he's caught
and,
the Gila.
and the Bifrost from getting close to them.
Bifrost just got tackled. Bifrost just got tackled by David Thurman.
This
Bifrost
could.
is tackled
Oof.
and the Gila's tackled. Now, if both
So
of these
he's in
go
deep
down-
hole, but can they break him?
I don't.
Can
think-
they
I
break
think
the Bifrost and the Gila? Maybe. This is where the boundary also plays into their favor because they can flirt with it. They can come out, get their warning from the E-War, and then come back in like that. But so he risks being caught, but at least he's not immediately destroyed. And it looks like Kirch Osint in the Brudix is probably going down, and so will David shortly after. But they
Yeah, it
might
doesn't
be
look
able
like
to
he's
take
applying much
something with
DPS
them.
at all to this Gila.
They're definitely hull tank these Brudix, I think.
Oh, and there goes the
Um,
Bifrost. So right now they have them on points, but there goes the Brudix as well. And I think with it, the chances of this team from pulling it back.
Yeah, if it had been the other way around, if the Bricks with all of its hull left caught the Gila, I think this would have been very different because the Gila is already down to like 60% shield, with that other Brute 6 only having like 20% hull when he caught it. So if it was Brute 6 was the other way around. But look, David here looks like he's going to pounce on top of Biwaka and the Caracal. It looks like he might be able to.
Caracal's actually
here.
approaching the Brutix at the moment. Not very
Yeah,
fast,
this
but he is
looks
going
like a
towards
mistake.
him.
Yeah, definitely. He hasn't got his prop mod on. Possibly he's burnt it out. He's turning around now. He's not speeding up though, so he looks like he's burnt his prop mod or something. This Caracal's going to get totally pounded on. This might go to time, I think, because this Brix is not dropping very slowly. He is ticking down his structure.
They still have a little bit of time left, but
So we've had just over 6.5 minutes so far, so we've still got a good 3 and a
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, so this Caracal's been caught. Yeah, you're right. He probably burned out his prop mod.
So if he,
which, I don't
if he
see
kills this
why.
Caracal, he can just kill either one of the other ships and he's won. I don't think he's going to be able to, but he is getting pretty close to this Gila now. It's sat there, and if he kills his Caracal fast and then switches to Gila, I think he can win this because he's dropping
my
so
goodness.
slowly through
Yeah,
hull.
why are they
Come
coming
on,
in
Brute.
close?
Come on,
I think they're
David.
coming in for maximum DPS. I mean, that Gila's coming right in to try and get maximum
Caracal's about to pop
DPS.
now, and if he switches
But
his tackles
he's
to Gila,
missile,
which is
though.
right on top,
Oh my
he's overshooting
goodness.
the Gila.
There's
Come
no
on.
reason for them to be anywhere close to this Brutix. Not like I would even never get close to this thing.
There he goes, the scram and the Caracal. So the Brutix now has a scram on that Caracal. That's,
So the
that's the
question
best
is-
choice to go for. Definitely go for the Caracal over
Can
that
he-
Gila.
if he can kill this Caracal in
No,
the
this Caracal's
20th
speed is about matching the Brutix still, but he's within range.
Yeah, and he is scrammed, although if you could just coast out of that scram.
Exactly.
And that Gila is coming back in though, so maybe you'll get tempted and try and switch to that Gila.
He's out of
14%
scram
hull,
now for 1
11.
minute. He's out of
He's not gonna
scram for
make
just
it.
a few seconds.
I think that's it then, unless he switches to this Gila, but no, he's
Oh,
down.
yeah, there
there
it
he
is.
Fight.
is. Good
Good
fight.
Yep.
That got
Very good
closer than
piloting.
it should have been.
Oh yeah.
Like I was giving props to Evgeny, like, hey, they're doing good time, good, they're kiting pretty well, and then it all falls apart. There is no way anybody should have got caught by those Brutixes.
It happens. I always like when we're practicing Alliance tournament, our team, we tried the like kind of light missile ships a lot, and they were really strong this year and the previous year. The light missile kind of Orthrisk, Cerberus meta is also really, really strong, but it does take very good piloting. The amount of times I've seen teams screw up because they either burn out their micro drive because they're kind of like panicking and trying to make sure they're really far away from the bad guys and not getting caught because they don't want to be that guy that the FC like calls out on comms like, oh my god, why did you get caught by that Briggs? You know, so they're trying really hard to cut out. And the amount of times I've seen people burn out their MWDs under the pressure of AT is it's pretty common. And also just like kind of you're running away from one guy, you can accidentally kind of like end up running into another quite easily. And I think that like why you say like, yeah, you should no way be being caught by Brutix. It's a lot of pressure, and I always say to like the team who is chasing the light missile ships, don't give up, don't stop. Like I know you've got 8 minutes of this, but don't stop, because you might like it's the more pressure you keep on them, the more chances they're going to make a mistake with their piloting.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand getting caught by burning out prop mod. That happens, right? But you are faster. You have a lot of arena to play with, and I don't even see the reason why they had to even overheat their prop mods. That's the big question. What was the reason? Even the Gila getting caught somehow, I just didn't know why. And then also at the end, bring it for some reason getting close to that other Brutix. You know, I know the Brutix pods were like wish that's something they did earlier in the match, because that would have swung the other way if they made those piloting mistakes at an earlier time. Congratulations to Eve Uni. You guys did it. Even though it was close. Nice.